How's that? Hey, audio's back. Sheesh. It's been one of those days, you know. I mean, I'm canceling. I'm not canceling. I'm, coming in. Yeah, there we go. We got audio back. Yeah, my audio monitor here all of a sudden it's like it was working and then it was not working and. Oh, boy. And when it gets one of these kind of crazy guys, then it's when we do the open chats. So when you see open chat, it's like, there you should have audio. You should have audio. You should have audio. There we are. Yeah, I think what happened is I toggled my, I wiggled my soundboard input when I was plugging in my headphones. So yeah, that kind of happened. So. All right. Well, today is an open chat. So if you'd like to join in, send me an email through the contact form, switchedtolinux.com/contact. I will get you the link. We are going to do, I can Skype. Yes, I can Skype Pizza the link. That means I have to turn on Skype on Saturday. Really, Pizza? That's fine. I'll turn on Skype on Saturday. All right. If Skype wants to load. Have I slept, though? Yes, I did sleep. I got about 5.5 hours of sleep, I think, which isn't too bad for me. So give me a second. Let me get Skype up here. And, Skype's gone. There we go. There's Skype. Yay, found Skype. All right. Sent link to that. Yeah, I don't usually miss out on sleep. I'm not usually one to miss sleep. So, that's the case there. Don't wiggle your things. Ooh, but I want to wiggle my things. All right. Got around 7 what? 7 minutes, 7 hours, 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 years. Anyway, let's see. Playing NES. Oh, you got around 7 hours of sleep. Gotcha. Playing SNES games all night. 7 hours or 7 minutes? If you're playing SNES games all night, and I know what time zone you're in, it's pretty early where you are, so, Anyway. Let's see who else is on. Serge is on. Hello, Arthur Thing. Greetings. Serge can't join on because of his wife. Yeah. Hello, KO2610. Greetings, Mr. Cat Gamer, again, and happy birthday to you, Drew Fuss. Hello there. Alexander, greetings. Hi, Pi. I'm going to call you Pi. Check one, no audio. Yep. Ben Fitzpatrick, greetings, Ben. Ben, do you want a link? I'm not sure if I have your email, Ben. I might not. Chad V, greetings, Gnostic. How's it going there? All right. Hello, Riser. We're waiting. I just sent out the link to Pizza, so he should be on here in a moment. And there is another one coming in on Surge. All right. Let me reply. Okay, sent that out to Serge. Okay, so on the Gmail ones, check your spam. Gmail loves to send my emails to spam from my server. I don't know why. I've actually validated my servers with them. Will you call me Cake? If I remember. Pyramid 7 Cake. If I remember. English Bob, how's it going there, EB? What's going on? Yeah, there's and the other piece of exciting news, there is actually a bee flying around my office. One of the ones like a yellow jackets that sting. So if you see me like do ninjutsu, it's probably because the bee has come close to me. Just an FYI. So he just did a circle around the back monitor there. I don't know if you saw the bee in the background, but yeah, I got a bee in here, and craziness. Let's see. Energy to burn. All right. So I guess general random fun topic 1 today. Let's talk about looking at your accounts. In this world where we are putting things onto our accounts more and more, in this day when we're basically auto-billing, things like that, double check your accounts and set yourself up some time every couple of, I'd say every couple weeks at the most, maybe once a week or so. And so one of the reasons like I was not sure I would be able to get onto the stream today is because I was checking out the pizza. Did you get the link, by the way? So I was checking out the accounts yesterday, and it's like after almost 2 weeks, my Comcast payment still has not come out of the account. So I call them up. Hey, how's it going? Let me unmute you. All right, can you hear me on the Google Hangouts? Oh, wait, of course, I'm muted, so sorry. I was muted on my Google Hangouts, so. How's it going there? Yes, no? Hold on, let me check my Google Hangouts audio now. All right, how's that? Can you hear me now? I don't know if, like, nothing on the stream is working right now. It's very rare. Yeah, I cannot hear you. My indicator is saying you may not be able to hear me, though, as well. I know I was muted, but I'm going to go ahead and mute desktop audio while we figure this out. Oh, boy. Let me try this mic. No, don't change that. Change this one. Check that. Hello, can you hear me? I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Okay, Pizza can hear me. I'm not seeing my audio indicators. Yeah. Okay. And the other one, is that Surge? Okay. I can only every now and again I can hear you. Can you hear me all right? Yeah, no? Can you hear me? Okay. So for some reason, I'm not getting audio input on my system.
It says that his mic is muted on Hangouts.
Yeah. Well, I should see audio stuff on me. Let me switch over to the web browser view. All right, we got Pizza on. We got Surge on. Can you hear you?
I hear, yes.
Okay, there we are. Now I see you there. For some reason, I'm not having audio indicators on my end, but as long as you guys can hear me, that's all good. Wow, this has been just a crazy, crazy thing. Yeah, so the issue was the audio wasn't going through Google Hangouts, and I'm still not seeing the audio indicators, but they can all say they can hear me. So, Dan, do you want a link? I can send you a link if you want to jump on.
So, we're switching to CenturyLink because we were paying for 1 gigabit speeds, and we're only getting 300 megabit.
Yeah.
So, we decided to switch to CenturyLink, and we're my Comcast is being canceled. It got canceled, so today is the last day I have internet until we get CenturyLink.
Oh joy!
So I'm not gonna have internet for 3 days.
No. You'll be at the library, won't you?
Yeah.
Need my internet fix.
That's always what I do.
Yeah. So I was saying I had paid the Comcast bill like well before it was due, but then it's apparently an employee there sent out a or typed in the numbers wrong because for some reason they're not processing checks anymore. They are instead manually typing in the numbers into a electronic banking transfer fund, and they typed in the numbers wrong, and so it hit my account as a late fee and all this other stuff. I'm just like, I had to go down to Comcast before they close today and get it all cleared up. So hopefully it's cleared up. All right, so I sent out one to Ben and one to Dan as well. So Serge, how you doing?
Oh, I'm fine.
All right, very good. All right, so you're here to convince me to switch to Gen 2 finally, aren't you?
I just hopped to Arch with Plasma yesterday because I was running Manjaro Plasma. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I had Manjaro GNOME, and then I didn't really like GNOME 3.34 very much, so I hopped to Plasma. I put Plasma on it. Mm-hmm. But Plasma and GNOME on the same computer does not. it's not a good idea. So, and I did. I wanted newer packages, so I just completely got rid of Manjaro and installed Arch.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I am. I've been running Arch now on this system for way too long at this point, so I think it's probably about time I get rid of it.
How long have you been running Arch?
Oh man, I think we put it on. What did we put it on? Maybe January, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Not
you've only
Search. My
done.
apologies.
No, I don't think it was January because didn't you get the new distro rubric at the beginning of the year and having
Yeah,
done like
and
3
I
of
only
them?
did one distro with it, and that was Arch.
Yeah,
I think it was January.
Howdy, Tom. Hey, everybody.
I mean, I guess it proves that Arch is stable enough for Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it at all.
Oh,
So, what distro should I run when I drop Arch off of this? What do we think?
Deepen.
you don't want my answer to that.
All right, what's your answer anyway? I want to hear them.
Oh, Tom, the one distro you have never tried in the history of your channel is a full Gentoo install.
That's 2.
Yeah, so like I'll do Gentoo through an installer like Sabayan or one of the other ones, but here's the thing.
I know you're not a big fan of doing stock Gentoo.
Well, here's the reason. All right, here's the reason. Yeah. I am not a Linux hobbyist. I am a person that is extraordinarily busy that uses Linux to get my work done. I don't have hours and hours and hours to build an operating system when I can do something like an installer. So, if it's,
have you ever thought about potentially trying BSD?
No. And because BSD right now is where Linux was 10 years ago. Again, right. I'm not a computer hobbyist that wants to see what I can get working in my spare time. I actually don't have much spare time. I'm a person that wants to use open source software, open source operating systems to get my real work done. That's kind of what my limits are. So it's got to be something that I don't have to spend a long time doing. So that's why Gentoo via Sabayan or one of the other installers, I'll do that. Well, I mean, I don't have an issue there.
Maybe you could try out Zorin OS if Core is fine, but if you want to try out Ultimate as a YouTuber, you can reach out to them and get free copy. That's what I did. And you could get Zorin OS Ultimate for a YouTuber copy and then try it out.
Yeah, that's an idea. I like Peter's idea on that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I know. We've chatted before when they'd reached out with some of the clarifications on some of the videos. So I did a clarification video. So they might do that. I don't know.
I just think it'd be interesting to see what you think of a distro that normally would cost money.
Yeah.
Because then you could make a video on if you should get if you should buy a premium distro.
Yeah, absolutely. Fedora, that's the one I've run. I think Fedora was actually what I was running before I had Arch on here. Actually,
it was. I think.
Was it? I know I ran Fedora as a little bit before. It might have been Fedora. Then I did the Arch, the Deepen, and then because I ran Deepen for 2 weeks or something as well.
You hated it.
Well, I didn't really hate it. It was I think the Deepen desktop environment itself gets a little annoying at times. And so that's the thing. It's neat, it's novel, but I think it gets annoying. And so I did the actual Deepen, and then I did a Manjaro Deepen to see. Of course, Manjaro Deepen is not really a thing anymore as a direct community build, although you can still install Deepen, but apparently it's buggy.
Actually, Manjaro Architect actually has Deepen as a list of desktops you can install. So now if you want Manjaro Deepen, you kind of have to go with Manjaro Architect.
Yeah, or just install Deepen on top of it. How's it going?
Or you could just install Arch.
Hello.
Yeah. All right. Give Solus a longer term yet? Yeah, I've done Solus. I did Solus last year for about a month or so, I think.
I think, the problem with Sabayon Tom, is that their mirrors are really crap. They're just slow. That's the only downside.
I noticed that on Manjaro. It took forever for downloads to happen when I was trying to download packages. It took forever for that to download, and then I hopped to Arch, and it's super fast.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah. I I think Tom should try, maybe Sabayon minimal. See how that goes. I mean, they do have a minimal installer.
I mean,
It's worth a try. I mean, I could never get it to work on this laptop because of the blatant Optimus crap. But other than that, I tried, the nouveau.mode set equals 0 thing, and that didn't even work. So I don't know what the heck it didn't like.
Are we trying to get Tom to move out of his comfort zone?
No, we're just suggesting Distro.
No, I'm thinking about it. Joe, I sent you a link too if you have time to jump on, since I had your email in here.
Yeah.
So this was actually neat. Somebody linked me to this video. I put it on my community tab. Let me see if I can actually get to that. Get to that guy's channel. I want to look at his video real quick because he had some interesting points. And I think he missed a small part of what I was saying, but overall his video was very neat. Very young channel, under 100 subs. So definitely check out his stuff there. But let me come up here and pull his channel up here. All right. Let's see. So let me switch on over to article view. Hopefully article view actually works. Whoa. All right. So this guy here. So the Real Geek. So he picked up a few subscribers since yesterday. So I linked his channel here. He has a really neat analysis. So this is a video I did at the beginning of the month where I was kind of talking about problems with snaps, and he says the one sentence identifies why a lot of people don't want to change, and that's because I don't have time to learn a new system, and that's a great thing. So he had an excellent 10-minute video on this, so it's definitely worth watching. Now, of course, the thing is that I said is, I don't want my main production system or my main work system to change packages automatically. I don't want to hear about all that, right? But the reason I like running the more rolling stuff on the media PC is it gives me a chance to play with things. So like Kdenlive had a big change in the UI. And after looking at it, there's some things I don't like about it, but there's also some things that they're doing really well now on Kdenlive. And so it's definitely, I like having both systems. I don't want my main work to go because it's a matter of time. If I'm getting ready to do something, I do not have time to sit there and figure out the UI. Anyway.
Kdenlive's new UI, I prefer the old one because my music files, for whatever reason, it puts the album art in like the video track, and then I have to ungroup the album art and then delete it, and then I have to move the audio track where I want. And if I don't have an open video track, it's super annoying. And so the UI would be good if you could put video inside of the audio tracks and vice versa.
Yeah,
That's what would make it good for me.
Toss is having a fit about the Kdenlive thing too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should go over there and do some videos with it too.
Yeah, that would probably help him a lot.
Okay.
I installed Octopi on my Arch installation, and I was like, why does everyone think this program's so bad? And then I tried installing an AUR package.
Oh.
That's why I use PAMAC, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm installing PAMAC.
Yeah,
I stick to
you
the
just can't
Synaptic
update through
Package
PAMAC.
Manager.
I'm on Arch, so Synaptic's not on Arch.
No, it's not.
Yay's another good. Yay works pretty good for getting AUR
I'm using
packages.
Yay. I just don't like searching.
Then another thing is the Synaptic Package Manager will show you AUR packages too.
Synaptic's not on Arch, is it?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking Manjaro. I'm sorry.
Manjaro doesn't have Synaptic, man.
Yeah, that's also Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It has a package manager. It allows you to enable AUR and then
that's PAMAC.
Shows you it.
Yeah, it's PAMAC.
You know what the problem with the Synaptic Package Manager is all these distros are using them for everything. It's called Synaptic Package Manager, but they use it for apt instead with Debian or, a Debian-based distro, or they'll use it.
Synaptic is a front end for apt.
Yeah, it's a front end for a lot of things. But they don't change the name of the thing. They just leave it as Synaptic Package Manager.
Right.
They should rename it if they're going to do that.
Okay. FreeBSD or GhostBSD or TrueOS. Okay, those are options. I don't know. Maybe I need to spin one of them up on a virtual
Project
machine.
Trident just hopped from FreeBSD and TrueOS. They switched over to Void Linux because they switched over to Void Linux because it supports more hardware and it supports more software, which makes their user base less limited.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that from Ricky. Yeah, they switched bases from BSD to TrueOS.
No,
So
I mean,
they switched it from
independent?
TrueOS to Void. TrueOS is based on
TrueOS is now
BSD.
based on Void, yeah.
TrueOS is based on BSD, and they hop from TrueOS to Void. TrueOS is like BSD's Ubuntu, basically.
Okay.
So now I guess Project Trident is going to be Void Linux's Ubuntu.
No.
Interesting.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. They switched to a Linux page.
See what the repo stable. Condors OS, immature hacker. Condors OS. Now I see Condors. Is Condors OS the one that shut themselves down?
No, Antargos.
And I know Antargos did, but I thought another one that I recently did too.
Condra's OS got discontinued.
I don't know. I thought I remember
because I'm pretty sure that you just did a video on Condra's OS like 2 months ago.
Literally a video I just did closed down.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Was it Condors? Yes,
yeah,
it is
I'm on
Condors.
their website and it says it's closed now.
Yep.
Oh, Tom, did you put them out of business?
I try not to. I was just giving constructive criticism. I mean, number one, let's not have the Windows booting circles. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it? Windows.
How did I not see this? How did I not? I have a news show. How did I not realize this shut down?
I know somebody sent me a link to it, so I was like, oh, that's funny.
The closed project.
The
closed project video only has 90 views.
Man. All these distros keep getting shut down.
There's too many of them, and I got a theory about it too. There's forks of a fork, and it's kind of like these people, maybe 2 or 3 of them want to make a distro, they fork something, and then in hopes of forking it that they get donations and they open a merch store and they try to make some money out of it, but it's too flooded with stuff. It works the same with YouTube.
Yeah,
a guy that wants a YouTube channel, gets merch and starts, wanting to get money coming in to make a living on it. But there's so many of them.
Shop.switchlinux.com. You can get this awesome contributor code of conduct. Switch Linux shirt. Just had to throw that in. So
yeah. But that's what I believe is really going on with all the distros.
That's a possibility because a lot of them don't bring anything new to the table. Like, I've been trying to steer away from the smaller distros that don't bring anything new to the table.
I mean, I'd like to make Arch-based distro, but I have some ideas for features I could make. Like, I had one idea called Arch System Manager, where it's a Glade UI for a bunch of scripts to help you manage your Arch system with like updating, managing repositories, stuff like that.
You might want to talk to Ben on what it takes to manage a distro.
Yeah, Pizza, I tried to help you that one time.
Oh, no, but also I don't feel like I have enough time to manage a distro, so I'm thinking about writing the features and then getting another distro to implement them. Like Salient would be perfect for some of my feature ideas.
Yeah.
Your distro would have to have a wow factor in order to take
it. I feel like Silent Robot would happily accept my features because right now Salient, the only thing making it stand out is just its implementation of XFCE, because it has a really good implementation. But really, other than that, it's just another Arch distro. So I feel like adding some of the feature ideas I have would make it stand out a little bit more.
Pizza, I have an Arch distro called Hackman. It needs a lot of stuff done to it. I mean, right now, It's just got the Calamari installer with a bunch of apps and stuff like that, and a theme. And it doesn't really do a whole lot.
The thing is, if I do make these programs, though, I hate packaging. It really.
Well,
I don't.
I'll tell you what. If we collaborated, I would add your stuff to my distro, and we can collaborate on it and see what we can do.
I just hate packaging, so I'd probably have to.
No, I know.
Distro maintainer do it.
If you, I don't know how to really make a package build, but that's the trick. Is I don't really know how to make a PKG build out of the product.
Wait, what desktop does Hackman use?
XFCE.
Okay, cool. Because I plan on making all of my stuff with GDK because I hate working with Qt.
So here's a question from Mitchell. Anyone know of a 64-bit ISO that have out-of-the-box support for 32-bit UEFI? Doesn't Fedora have that?
No.
I think they did have it, but they're getting rid of it.
RPM-based distro.
So what's that again?
It's an RPM-based distro, Tom.
Okay. No, well, I know I looked into a few of them because I had one of those little mini tablet computers at one point in time, and that's exactly what it had. It had 64-bit ISO with 32-bit EFI. I actually ran a Debian on it, but you had to rebuild the Debian package for 32-bit, which is not complicated. That's what I did. But I thought it was Fedora. I also tested with that machine, which I did not have to manipulate. So, not sure. Look at Fedora though. That might do it.
Have you, Tom? When's the last time you've used OpenSUSE?
SUSE, really?
Probably about 2 years ago, maybe.
Maybe you should give it another shot, but don't go with Leap. All of their packages are ancient. They still have like GNOME 3.26 or something old like that.
Wow, even Tails is more up to date than that.
You're saying Tumbleweed?
Exactly. So if you use OpenSUSE, go with Tumbleweed.
Okay.
Debian's more up to date than it.
Yeah.
That's
I
shocking.
would recommend, if you're going to go SUSE, I would recommend Tumbleweed. Yeah.
Running
And
Debian
especially
is quite an hour.
Yeah, especially if I want that computer, I want something that rolls on it. So that might actually be a good idea. Now, did anybody look into this? Somebody told me this, and I keep wanting to look into it, and I have not had a chance, that the new versions of Firefox, you cannot just carry your profile over. Is that true? Did anybody look into that? I've heard that, and I've not had a chance to look at it.
I've experienced it.
You've experienced it. That's not good.
Yes, I have. And I can't forget which distro it was, but I like, for the Big Daddy Distro Challenge, when I do one of his challenges, I try and move my Firefox, my Thunderbird, my WaterFox, all those profile folders and all the stuff I'm going to use for that distro over. I haven't had, I can't say I've had that problem with when I moved over to Netrunner to use it for a week. But someone told me when you do start up Firefox for the first time after you copy everything over, use the terminal and type in Firefox -I. And that means import.
What was I gonna say? I always use Firefox Sync because it's easy.
Yeah, the thing is that I wouldn't recommend somebody sign on to their accounts. If they're trying to do something that makes people want to sign on to their stuff, that's kind of problematic.
The only thing I have on it is bookmarks. I don't have any passwords or extensions on it.
I use my Firefox for some of my passwords and extensions, believe it or not. And I do not want that to be online and online sync.
I'm going to be
testing that out.
I don't I don't trust the Google Sync because it syncs passwords, and I guarantee you eventually Google's going to get hacked and all of the passwords are going to be open in a database. That's why I don't use password managers.
Yeah. At least not internet-based ones, right?
Yeah. No, I don't use offline ones either. I'll show you my password manager. Let me find it.
Yeah.
Tom, here's another thing I experienced with Firefox.
Yeah, that's a good
password manager.
Here's another thing I experienced with Firefox too. When you take it over to a KDE Plasma platform and you take your profile over there and you want to move your profile back to, let's say, Debian, Plasma puts some junk in your profile thing, and then when you open when you start up your computer, your Debian distro with that, it says it's missing Plasma stuff.
It auto installs the Plasma integration. It's an extension. You have to remove it. It does it on Chromium too. And now whenever I sync my extensions with Chromium, again, I get the Plasma missing thing.
Yeah.
How do you do that within the browser? You go to the extensions.
You have to remove the Plasma integration extension.
Well, that's exciting. Which versions, like what distros was Plasma running on when you experienced this?
Arch.
The latest Netrunner one. I think it was one just older than the Plasma that just came out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Biddle's later
That's
today.
exciting. Like, I mean, here's a thought. Let's not install extensions for stuff without permission.
Yeah, maybe make a dialogue on like the first launch of Plasma saying, "Hey, would you like to install the Plasma integration with better Plasma integration for your browsers?"
Yeah, because here's a tip.
Like,
no, I don't.
Like what it allows you to do is it allows you to have like all of your browser stuff inside of your media controls. Like if I was playing a YouTube video, I could control it with Plasma instead of having to open up the YouTube video and pause it like that.
Yeah.
But if you don't, but for someone like me, I'm fine opening my browser and pausing it.
Ben, Simply Linux says to pay your light bill.
Light bill?
Oh, you're like super dark.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Have the blinds down.
It was just a funny comment.
Let me just turn the light up. Hold on.
You don't have to. It's just a funny comment.
That reminds
He's
me.
got the blinds behind him. I have them in front of me.
Yeah, I have some behind me. I had to turn the blinds down a little bit and actually turn on a light. So.
Yeah.
That reminds me. I need to pay for my VPN
in this room because there are LED lights in here that my dad put in, and I don't know why, but you know, having the blinds closed, it doesn't really help the lighting. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, so many forks. Linux has so many forks it became a giant spoon. There you go.
Well, my light is worse because of this right here in the back.
Yeah.
That
That'll
we're
do it.
gonna get. I'm gonna get a blind soon that's gonna block that out. But until then, it's still gonna be there. And it's kind of annoying because sometimes my webcam focuses on the light behind me instead of my face.
Yeah.
And then my face goes black, and then that light is just shining there.
Yeah. I mean, it would be worse if I turned the lights off. And we have this Samsung TV in front of me that doesn't really help anything. So it's a smart TV also. But yeah, unfortunately, if I were to turn it off, it wouldn't really help the lighting.
Yeah. That's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so here's a good question. See if anybody knows anything about this. Wants to switch to Linux, but the font rendering in the browser is bad, and the fonts are hurting my eyes. Is it very unusual for me in comparison to Windows? So could that possibly just be the system fonts? Is that something he could just change the system fonts, or is that anybody know what he's talking about specifically?
Well,
I know in the settings there's usually a fonts thing for 4 different categories of your system. You can change the size and the fonts of them, but be real careful with that because when you change the font's name, remember what the original one was because you may want to go back, but you can adjust the sizes for a lot of things.
I'm going to update my password book right now, so I'm going to turn off my webcam.
Most distros have that. I'm not going to say all of them do.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do is look and see if it's just that because like a lot of your distros default all use the same font, which is the Ubuntu open source font. So if you just swap it to something else, you can read better, you know.
I'm using Debian, but I'm using Cinnamon in Debian, which works really great. It's really kind of minimal. And you open the settings, and right at the top, it has appearance. It's got backgrounds, effects, and then fonts. You open that up, all your fonts for your system are right in there.
Yeah.
That
sounds really easy.
Cinnamon actually works better than a lot of things in Debian for some reason. It comes very minimal. You get your settings panel, you get your panel at the bottom of the screen, and you get your file manager, and that's about it.
Yeah. I like the thought of that.
Let's see. Arch on the desktop, Gentoo on the laptop. Never looked back. Yeah,
Who
so like
said that?
I have my Omniplex computer that I'm going to be using here for when Windows 7 falls off the wagon. So I don't know. Maybe I should install something else on it. No, probably won't. I'm just going to use Mint because yeah.
I still plan to use Windows 7 distros no matter what.
Yeah, like I'm not moving my accounting software, so I'm going to keep that there. But you know,
Just
make
because there's
sure-
all that noise out there doesn't
Yeah.
mean I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah,
Me
I mean, if your system is behind a pretty good firewall and you're careful with your system, you'll be just fine for a while. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I still have it, and I still plan to use it as long as I possibly can because,
Yeah.
you know, I have, you know, as much as it pains me to say, I still have, you know, I have a strong enough antivirus and everything like that. I'm not worried about it.
See, I don't even run antivirus on my Windows computer.
What do you use, Tom?
Nothing.
I mean, honestly, I just use the built-in. I just use the built-in stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have the built-in thing, but man,
If
my
you're on
system's
Win-
behind a big old pfSense firewall and all this other fun stuff. If someone can get
Yeah.
through all that, they deserve it.
Yeah,
If you're on Windows 10, Windows Defender is actually pretty good, but on Windows 8 and 7, it's not that good.
no, it's not. But you know,
I'm finding most of them
built-in stuff.
antivirus programs out there now. They're spyware in themselves.
Yes,
They
will
come
be.
with their own viruses. Try installing Norton antivirus. You can't uninstall it once you install it.
And also,
I mean, you can. You just have to go through the registry files and hack them out.
Yeah, you really got to pull it out like a weed.
There's
Or you could
actually
just-
there's a Norton uninstall application.
It don't work real good.
I know.
the easiest way to uninstall Norton is to reinstall Windows. And even
Yes.
then, there's only a chance it's gone.
Yeah. That's why I don't install it 99% of the time.
So Simply Linux is a 52, 87, and 19-year-old from the US, UK, and Australia with a liking for blondes, according to Google. All right, Google.
What the
What?
heck? Oh my god.
I did enjoy, back before I deleted the old Facebook account, I installed ProPublica's plugin just to see what Facebook thought about me. And it was actually funny how inaccurate it was. So I was very good at hiding who I really was. According to Facebook, they're like, you know, he's a big old basketball fan. I was like, where do you get that? I don't really care for any sports. Speaking of which, if you guys want to see any riots or anything, we'll probably have one in State College Day because it's the Penn State-Michigan game.
Ooh, my people are down there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I had to swing to town. That's one of the reasons I wasn't sure I'd be back for a show today. Had to swing into town, and I almost got trampled over several times. And there's even the beer brigade of guys holding down their big old cases of whatever.
Is it Michigan
they were.
blue or Michigan green?
I don't know.
Them or State?
I'm pretty sure it appears to be a Penn State whiteout game because every single person in town I saw was wearing white. So I'm guessing it's a whiteout game, but I don't know because I look at the schedule just enough to know it's a 7:30 game. So as long as I avoid town between the hours of about 4 and 7, I'm good. After 7, it will be a ghost town until about 10, 11 o'clock.
Well, Michigan State, I got a chance to go do some work up at their campus, and they actually have a full-size inside football field.
You guys,
I could not believe it.
You guys have never seen downtown Seattle, and there's about to be a Seahawks game.
Oh,
I imagine it's pretty bad.
Yeah. But
Okay.
then once the game starts, for once there's no traffic in Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another update to the font one, answering more questions. So regular stuff. So it's just a 1360 by 720 resolution monitor. Installed the core MS fonts. The question is, though, did you change the fonts in the system settings? Because just installing the core fonts doesn't mean it changes the fonts. So in most Linux distributions, the default font is like Ubuntu and stuff like that. And so you want to make sure that you're installing the actual fonts, like running the actual fonts in the system level that you need.
Have you guys had any issues with Play Protect? Because right now I'm working on developing my own Android app, and whenever I sideload a new version on, every single time Play exploit detect is like, you have a virus. You need to uninstall this app, or else your phone's gonna be spying on you. Oh, you have a virus.
It's going to do that because you're uploading without a cert. So that's going to happen on probably anytime you
Without what?
something.
Without a certificate.
You don't have a
Oh yeah,
certification
I'm using Adobe PhoneGap to make the app, and HTML and CSS and JavaScript, and the materialized framework in jQuery.
Have you played with Android Studio?
Yeah, but I don't like Java.
Oh, okay.
I like JavaScript, but although the thing I hate about JavaScript is how hard it is to debug it, because if you make a mistake, it doesn't give you a lot of the times. There are some exceptions, but a lot of the time it doesn't give you an error in the console, and you have to figure out what's wrong with your code yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, one of the challenges with Joomla is they don't have a way to load the JavaScript in the footer. And that can cause some delay times in websites. Now, they have a way to delay parsing, but it's not the same. And so I've found ways to put things in, but now I'm trying to get it to conditionally load certain things. So, like, I only need the photo galleries on book pages, not everywhere else. I cannot get even a simple shared variable shared across the platform to check for a conditional. It is like, which is good in that, hey, it's a security feature, but man, I'm trying to get that JavaScript to parse out. So I have it working just by manually loading the script at the bottom of that particular template page. Not the most elegant, but it works and it doesn't throw the errors. Bonus.
So one idea of a command line utility I'm going to make is a program for installing elementary apps on other distros.
Ooh.
And it builds them all from source.
Yeah.
It will automatically install the dependencies for you and then build it from source. And then it will have a list of elementary apps, and it will download them with Git and compile them.
Anna Rita jumped on. Greetings, Anna Rita. How are you?
Hello, Anna Rita. How are you?
Anna
Hello,
Rita,
Anna
we are
Rita.
laying audio tracks down for the next book this week. That's right. And good time as any. I am done with the first draft of my science fiction novel.
And I am done. I am done with my first draft of the memoir project I have due on Monday.
Nice. Very good. Very good.
It's only a
So-
Well,
page.
Tom, I am taking a A+ course in school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Many boys plan to become computer certified.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
I'm excited this year because I've had better grades in this year than I have any other year.
That's good.
That's
I
good.
have one-
Awesome.
I have a B+ and I have 6 A's.
Nice.
None of them are
That
A
means you're
minuses.
seriously improved.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Very
Last
good.
year I had a C in chemistry.
Shame on you. Well, I mean, with what they were teaching in the chemistry class, I'm not surprised. I saw some of those notes and papers and the homework questions. Man, those were stupidity.
Yeah, and the program.
You want me to teach you? You want me to show you what we're doing this year?
Is it chemistry?
No, it is physics, kind of. Forces in motion.
Ooh, vectors.
Now you got me thinking roller coasters.
Here, let me log into the program we're using.
How
for
is
science class.
how's guitar lessons going? I believe you were taking those too, right?
Oh, I know how to play one song, and that's Nirvana's "Very Ape."
There you go. That's very ape of you, huh?
I'm
Well,
only
you're a
doing
busy
work
guy.
now.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me log in. You're probably gonna get a laugh out of this.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. I'm only
Okay.
taking one class pizza. And that's only twice a week.
Let's see here. Here it is. I've just pulled up my science stuff. Let me check to make sure that won't show any of my info if I show it on stream.
Yeah, that would not be ideal.
No.
So you guys want me to show harnessing human energy or forces in motion?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll do human energy because I understand this unit more
That's fine.
slightly. So
Yeah, forces
remember,
in motion would make me think roller coasters, and I don't want to think roller coasters in the middle of a technology stream.
so remember how last year I would have I had a simulation for chemistry.
Okay.
Well, there is a simulation for harnessing human energy.
Oh joy.
Yeah.
It's
And
called the bicycle.
It's called.
let me find it.
Funny.
It's gonna take me a while to look for it.
Yeah.
You don't need any virus on Windows. Monitor outboard, and you'll know if you have malware.
What?
It's you don't need any virus on Windows. It'll delete itself. Come on.
Oh God.
Hold on a second.
A few years ago, I
Windows
had
is a virus with all the data they extract
Yeah.
from you. Yes.
A few years ago, I had AVG when it was a good package, and it had a really good firewall in it because anytime a process would open up and want to connect to the internet, a screen would pop up asking you if you wanted to allow it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it would build
That's
its
a weird thing.
policies on that.
Yeah.
And then they started putting adware and everything else into it, and they
Yeah.
just ruined it to the point where I wanted to cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick Laffey liked doing the things where it would simply like, oh, you're connected to the internet, block it. And they would end up blocking your whole computer from the internet. Very common.
We'd tell
problem
you
with
where
Mick
the
Laffey.
process was located at, too, so you could go rip it all out by its roots.
All right, so I'm screen sharing. This is the
Let me see.
harnessing human energy simulation.
What the?
So you start out with an energy source, which you could choose wind, fuel, sun, crank, fuel. Yeah, I got this. And then from here, you have to connect it to something else that fits like the puzzle piece or whatever. They're all different. So I could connect the fuel to an engine, and then I can connect this engine to a flywheel, and then
Wow.
the flywheel to a ball launcher, and then I could have a ball catcher, and then I could connect the ball catcher to another engine. No, not an engine, another flywheel.
Wow. You see, science for me in school was always a pity because I didn't know what the heck I was looking at. I was, what in the crap is all this stuff?
And then I could have a generator, and then I could have this generator connect to a music player. And then if I hit run, we'll see what happens. So it's converting the potential energy to kinetic, the kinetic to potential, and then back to kinetic.
Wow.
And then whatever is going on here. And then I could go to analyze. I don't know what's going on, by the way.
Nor
Should have
do
put
I.
the generator on the end of the engine.
Wait a second. The ball missed that. So what if I did this? Okay, let's try this again. So it goes to kinetic, to
And this,
potential
people,
to
is what our
kinetic,
education taxes are going to.
and then transfer.
Oh God.
So, Pizza,
Oh, yeah,
are you
I got
learning
it
anything
working.
from this simulation?
No,
Okay.
I'm learning. I did learn something. That public school science is stupid.
It looks it from here.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
it does. The school system is all effed up. I hate to tell you.
And then we could go to analyze. So it shows I got 50 energies transferred in, 0 in system total somehow. Oh, and then I got all
And
the
you know
energy
what's-
transferred
and-
out. Okay.
And you guys know what's even worse?
Wow.
In my school, my college, which my dad is on the foundation board of, by the way, they have me taking an online-based course in the class. That's just really sad, if you ask me. So I'm like, they don't even provide a book. They just use this website called Test Out, which they have us go in class to do, and I'm like, oh my God. Which, I don't know.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, the state of education in America. It's like, and we keep on falling in the worldwide rankings. Maybe let's go back to what we did before when we were still a top industry producer. It's like, I know, it's the very same things that all these tech guys are doing with their kids. Keep them offline, give them their basic lessons, You know, and you don't have to. They don't have to go to school and have hours and hours and hours of homework. It's just you got to have stuff that actually makes sense. That actually
I don't have that.
works.
I don't have that much homework.
And I'm only doing
Okay.
like 1 or 2 hours of homework a day, which is very reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the harnessing human energy sim.
Okay.
This is the other sim, forces in motion.
Yeah.
So you can have objects. You could choose their initial velocity, and then you could go to run. And this brown object has more mass than this, I think, reddish white object.
Yeah.
So then I can click on one, prepare. I could prepare some force. Click on one and start moving it. Set its amount of force, and then I could hit play and see what happens.
Looks like a
And then
pool game.
And then I could go to analyze and see what I just did.
Yeah.
And then, but if you go over on the side, the hamburger menu here, there's missions. So I can go to a purple mission, and I have to make these reach their target at the same time. So one has more mass than the other, so I have to prepare the force. And
Wow. Yeah, I have to say, Pizza, he's right. It looks like a freaking pool game.
okay, and then I
Wow.
could go to B.
So all of us American citizens, this is what our tax dollars are going to.
And then once I do that, they both go. I did it.
8 ball in the corner pocket.
I did it. And then there's another.
Start gambling on these things. Pixie sticks.
No, I want to prepare the force.
That's great. Oh, man.
Wow.
And-
You know, it'd probably teach you a little bit more to learn the mathematical equations and how
we do.
vectors work and things like that.
Force
you know?
equals
Yeah,
mass times
we do.
acceleration.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I learned that, but I didn't learn that from the teacher. I learned it from the Bill Nye episode we watched about this.
Wow.
Does it show you how to do a
Next-
bank shot?
Next Bill Nye will be teaching you that there are not just two genders and that you are whatever you want to have, and then he'll have some vulgar. Oh, wait, he already did that, didn't he? I'm sorry. Yeah, did you guys know that Bill Nye went back? They went back and edited one of his old albums to get rid of the binariness of gender in an old episode when he came back and did the Bill Nye Saves the Planet garbage, which was the most cringeworthy amount of stuff I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, to be honest, I do think that the original 80s show he did is pretty good, but I can't get into his new stuff.
Yeah.
He's just a crazy liberal lunatic. He's not a scientist. Never was.
Have you heard of Biz Kids?
Biz Kids?
I don't
No.
know what.
It's like this new show, not new. It was 2005, but it's still going on today. It's from the same production group that made the original Bill Nye, and it's teaching kids how to manage their money. And we watch it. I have an economics class, which I really like, and we watch an episode every Friday of it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I find it a lot of people think it's funny somehow. But to be honest, I haven't really learned anything from it because basically all of the episodes are just reveal of what he did for the week.
Yeah. So if you want to see, there was before Bill Nye's time, there was a guy named Mr. Wizard. He did really good science stuff. You actually learned stuff in that program. And if you watched, I did this with a friend of mine recently. We watched a Bill Nye episode next to a similar Mr. Wizard episode, and the amount you learned from Mr. Wizard was so much better. And it was more appropriate. It was more, if you watch the two, you say, well, Mr. Wizard, the kids show up at his house. He's kind of in a suit. He's dressed appropriate. He's calm. He's relaxed. He's teaching the principles. Gives you the basics, runs you through the experiment, talks about what he did. Bill Nye was always just I remember when that came out, the first time that came out, it was just ADD insanity. And you get to the end of it, you're I really haven't learned anything, but I was entertained. And it was so different. So when, we used to watch the Mr. Wizard, and then Bill Nye, he goes off air, Bill Nye comes on, and it was just this is nothing anymore. I don't know.
Well, I've learned one thing from Bill Nye.
What's
Inertia is a property of matter.
Okay.
When I was in school, we didn't have computers, so everything was done manually with real stuff.
Yeah. Hey, I still have
Wow.
an ivory slide rule. Used to know how to
We
use it.
have
Too.
calculator.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Yes.
Nice. I got to relearn how to use that thing. They are beautiful. Mine was, of course, made back in the time before ivory was considered bad. So it's picked up from actually as my mother bought a house with a Latin professor from Allegheny University that had, I think she went to a nursing home or something at the time. So I got a lot of old classic Latin textbooks, slide rules, old stuff like an old retired professor back in the 90s, you know. So it was really neat academic stuff. And as a geek, I loved it.
Man, Plasma 5.17 is like the first good Plasma release in a long time. It fixes so many bugs.
Yeah, I'm running that on Gen 2 at the moment.
It just messes with your Firefox install.
Oh no, the older versions did that too.
Yes, they did, because I got the version that's older than Pizza just mentioned on Netrunner.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with that, even using Firefox on that. But
It complains when you move your profile folder back to your main distro you use.
a good antivirus would delete Windows 10. That's right.
The best antivirus would make it so you can't connect to the internet at all, and then it delete Windows 10.
Yeah, well, that's what McLaffey does now. You know, completely blocks you from the internet. What?
You know, we're really lucky we have communities like this to ask these questions and have people that can answer them, because nobody in their right mind has enough time to Google every little Linux niche.
Yeah.
No, I know. Even I don't have
For the
to
most
that time.
For the most part, I like that, but I hate it when people DM people for answers. That kid from that video I made, whose name I'm still not going to reveal.
Yeah. All right. Windows 10 breaking audio drivers. Yeah.
Well, here's the sad part, Tom. My school uses Windows 10.
No.
Yeah, mine does
Yeah,
too.
unfortunately, I think almost all of them do these days, which is kind of problematic. In fact, somebody just sent me an amazing email today, and I want to respond back to him. He was telling an Apple horror story. Of course, the new Apple. I should have updated my Mac before this one came out, because I'm still on Yosemite or something on there.
Catalina is a cluster crap.
But the problem is that the new one, it's just it pretty much breaks everything. He's he couldn't even use his Microsoft Office. So they're like, well, you got to go and upgrade it. And of course, now all of the offices are all just subscription models that they want. So he's like, I don't want to do all this.
Yeah, Mojave was super good.
Yeah,
but,
I should have updated it.
Catalina's not very good.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if the newer one.
macOS, I don't think sudo has been patched for macOS. There's a huge vulnerability with sudo that has been patched on most distros already, including Debian, where basically it will allow you to get root access on any user, even if they don't have root, or even if they aren't in the sudoers file. macOS still hasn't patched that.
Yeah, I got that for Debian. They were quick to patch that. And when you know with Debian, it's like you almost get no updates. And then when you get one, you get all excited. I'm like, what did they send me?
Yeah.
What did I get?
Well,
I hope it's good.
Like Arch right now, it wants.
Do you believe
to
in miracles?
Yeah.
I think I just ran updates the other day, and my Arch I think has 106 updates on it.
106? Oh my god.
That's sick, man.
I don't know. It's half a gig. I don't know exactly how many. Sure, let's go ahead and apply all these updates. Why not, right?
Dude, one
Without
time I
reviewing
updated
any of them. What could go wrong?
One time I updated my Arch mid-stream in Biddle, and my Arch broke mid-stream, and then I had to leave the stream, and I had to end up going back in with my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. That was a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
No, that was like 3 months ago.
3 months ago? Okay. I think I remember that.
And I had to go into and then I went onto my laptop, but my mic wasn't working on that, so then I ended up dialing into Zoom using my phone.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
Which is a cool feature. It's cool that you could use your an actual phone. You could technically use the landline to call into Zoom if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Oh,
All
so,
updates bring mistakes.
let me see. Joe said he left. Oh, nope, not that one. Joe said he left a comment on that video, so I want to see what that comment was.
Yeah.
Community
Wonder.
tab, copy link address, and paste. Let's have a look.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. I'll talk to y'all later.
Hey,
See
we'll
ya.
see you, Ben.
All right, Ben. It's good to see you,
Later,
guy.
guys. Later, guys.
Okay. So Joe writes on the video. So this is on the one video. So Joe writes, I think you're skewing his point just a bit between a new user coming to Linux from Windows and a current Linux user having to adjust the UI release. His point about taking the time to learn a new UI. If you have a workflow in place, the UI has changed. This impedes your daily workflow and can disrupt your deadlines and schedules. I think where new potential users are concerned, they are leaving the comfort of one OS to learn another completely different OS or distro. This is a significant difference between taking the time to learn something new completely versus learning a new UI of a current system. Yes, your point is very well taken, but in fairness to Switched video, you're only focusing on a single segment, which does not offer the full picture. Okay, yeah, that's a valid point. Absolutely. Agree to that. Very good, Joe.
That kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, part of using Linux is I like relearning my workflow and I like trying out different experiences.
And honestly, you're a teenager, so you won't understand this as much as us older folks will. We don't have time. Like, if you think you're busy now, and it's funny because every day in your life, like every stage in your life, you think, wow, could I possibly get busier? You know, and you get down to it and it's like, I remember middle school or high school and it's like, man, busy. And then you don't know busy till you hit college. And college is nothing when you land in graduate school. And then graduate school is nothing when you leave for the real world. And then you look back and you go,
I will say that I'm probably more busy than the average teenager because of all the stuff I do. I don't have that much homework, but I also do a lot of programming. I have to do my weekly show. I have to do and the weekly show takes me 2 days of work to make one episode. And so that actually takes quite a while. And then also I have to do Biddle. I have a lot of stuff I have to do for my YouTube channel, basically.
Yeah, which you know, you keep doing that, and that could turn into a good career for you, you know, if you want to.
No, I think
or a supplement, really.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a temporary income when I'm like, because I think I'm going to hit 1K by the end of the year because I'm at 920 right now.
Yeah.
And that's when I could start monetizing. So next year I'll have sort of a little bit of extra money that I could probably use at 7-Eleven. But I don't do.
You know. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to make money off YouTube, but that's not why I'm doing it in the first place. I do it for fun, and I do it because I like having the following, to be honest. That's part of the reason I do it.
Yeah.
But
you have your own cult.
I wouldn't call it that.
School was where Mitchell learned to use 5 1/4 floppies. So this is funny. I was looking through. I had to fix a few audio or a few video files from my DVD collection. I was like, for some reason, I hadn't watched my Transformers Season 1, right? So I popped in Transformers Season 1, watching the one episode. Like, here, this disc will let you talk to our mainframe. It pulls it out. It's like a 5 1/4 floppy. Of course, that's what 1983, 84, I think, is Season 1 of Transformers.
Man.
So Yeah, like whoa, and that would have been like, wow, it's a floppy disk.
Wow.
Man, Plasma 5.17 even fixed my compositing issues while gaming.
Nice.
It's like the perfect
That's cool.
desktop now. That like Plasma 5.17 is like one of the most refined desktops I feel like I've ever used. Plus, I love how it now has the colors. You can totally customize GDK applications now because it now has the colors that you select for Qt. It now applies those to the Breeze GDK theme, which means if you use the Breeze GDK theme, then it will match your colors, which means you could basically customize, other than the icons and stuff for the GDK, you can basically make your own GDK theme in terms of colors in Plasma and have everything look super good.
Plasma is great if you're a desktop tinkerer.
Well, I actually have my Plasma set up, or not yet, but I did on Manjaro before I switched to Arch, and I'm probably going to do the same thing in Arch. I had it very similar to the same. I had it basically the same workflow I had in GNOME. With the activities hot corner, and then I had dock at the bottom. That was the way I used Plasma because I really like GNOME's UI. I really like GNOME's workflow. But GNOME, even though it has a great workflow, it is only a mediocre desktop at best. So putting the GNOME workflow on Plasma makes Plasma one of the best experiences you can
know
have.
what I noticed too? Plasma uses far less memory than GNOME does, and GNOME does far less than Plasma does.
Well, have you used 3.34? It's gotten really light.
Really light?
It's like the same as Plasma now, at least on Arch.
I had notes on
what it was. I know I'm on 3.34 on my Arch now, so I'm not sure. I know I booted
the GNOME
into it
I
once
used
or twice, but
yeah, the GNOME I used for Manjaro was like 1.5 gigs.
Manjaro, though, also has extensions preloaded. If stock GNOME is the same as Plasma,
that's a great point.
Yeah.
But the Plasma, I think, is like 750 megabytes before you start loading it.
Well, also, the reason GNOME 3.34, despite how light it is, they kind of did some areas of the desktop they completely rewrote, and because of that, a bunch of extensions no longer work. So GNOME, and it's going to be harder to fix than previous GNOME releases. It pretty much broke all of the extensions I could think of off the top of my head, whereas previous releases would only break one or two major ones, and then all of the other ones would be fine. GNOME 3.34 broke like all of them, I feel like. And a lot of the discontinued ones, or a lot of the ones that are dormant, probably won't get updated for GNOME 3.34.
It's kind of like some of the games, you get a game at a certain version, and then you get to download like stuff from the Steam Workshop and plug it into your game to make it better, and then they roll out a new release of the game to a newer version, and it breaks all that stuff from the workshop.
Yeah, I guess it's like that a little bit, but like
it is.
I actually have never had issues with workshop stuff on Steam. And
with American Truck Simulator, it's kind of different because you get truck add-ons and all this other stuff.
For American Truck Simulator. Okay, I get that. I play like the games I put workshop stuff in is like Gary's Mod. Gary's Mod kind of, you have to add workshop stuff. That's kind of the point of the game. But still, it's just a lot of extensions I use are actually a little bit dormant, and a lot of them were made for like GNOME 3.28, but they work completely well on 3.32. But then 3.34 just broke all of them. And the major extensions have already rewrote themselves to work on GNOME 3.34. Like Dash to Dock had to do a rewrite to get it working on GNOME 3.4, and the new version does not work on any older versions of GNOME.
Does Dash to Panel still work?
I think they updated it to work. Because I think I actually read an article about them updating it.
Because that's the way I prefer to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, though, I don't get why you'd use dash to panel on GNOME, because at that point you'd use Budgie.
Never tried Budgie. Haven't got there yet.
Budgie is like, it's like GNOME, but with the Windows 7 workflow. Is that how you describe it, Tom?
I'm sorry.
I can relate to that. That's like the Zorin layout.
Right here.
Budgie is like GNOME with the Windows 7 workflow.
Yeah, it's GNOME done right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just GNOME with a different workflow. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, because Zorin kind of really nailed it with GNOME to make it look like Windows 7.
It's like if you merge Cinnamon and GNOME together. If Cinnamon and GNOME had a baby, it'd be Budgie.
Baby Budgie. We have a baby Budgie.
Okay, one weird issue I'm having with Plasma 5.17 is I'm in a Minecraft world right now, and it's like messing with my mouse. Like I'd look up, and then all of a sudden in the game I'd be turned around. But that's the only bug I found so far.
Wow.
All right, let's see. I need to clear some browser cache out.
Awkward silence.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to look at this. All right, let's see. Never remember. Restart.
I haven't done any cleaning. I don't even know where the cache is at.
Okay, this mouse issue is starting to get on my nerves. Oh man, I just realized I didn't back up my hardcore world for my live streams.
Oh, that's not good.
When I distro hopped.
Oh, yeah.
I had a Minecraft hardcore mode that I was running on my gaming channel. I didn't back that up.
Try Antics
Not
or Puppy.
ouch.
I don't know if I want to put Antics or Puppy on one of those.
Puppy is like... I feel like Puppy would be perfect on an embedded device. Puppy isn't really polished enough to be put on to be seriously used as a desktop distro, I feel like.
Yeah, it's I kind of agree with you. It's
But it'd be perfect for an embedded distro, like to use on an ATM or something, you know? Because of how light it is, and you could just throw it on basically any computer you could think of. You'd probably get it working on a potato battery.
I do not choose my Linux distro yet. Unfortunately, in most distros, I find some errors that do not allow me to work properly. Possibly it's problem only in virtual desktop, VirtualBox, I don't know. Possibly I need to install it on working machine. What do you think?
Install what in a virtual machine?
I only have in a virtual machine, yes, Linux.
I'm trying to deal with something over here. Hold on a second.
I feel like VirtualBox isn't. VirtualBox sucks now. It works great with older distros, but I feel like newer distros run like crap in it.
Yeah, I think it depends too which version you have.
I have the latest version of VirtualBox, and I always set everything. I always set this default settings. It runs like crap, and max, like setting the specs to max, makes it run slightly better. But GNOME boxes makes everything run so much better. I feel like GNOME boxes is what I use now.
I'm still on version 5.30 or 5.230. It's like the second from the last one in the fives. And I tried one of the sixes of VirtualBox. It was slow, it dragged, it hung, and everything else. And I went back to the 5 series, and I haven't had this problem since with anything. Because I have a Windows virtual machine that I can't reactivate, so I kind of want to keep that going as long as I can.
I kind of wish I owned a copy of VMware Professional Edition.
Yeah, you can use it for personal stuff as long as you're not doing videos with it and stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's what sucks. That's the whole point of using VirtualBoxes for me, is YouTube. To be honest, I have no other reason to use a virtual machine.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried to start this series several times called Linux Experiments, where I take distros and do something like remove all GDK themes or something like that. But every single time I've attempted to record the first episode, I had an issue with the virtual machine. And that's why that series hasn't been up yet.
Yeah, Simply Linux says use VirtualBox 6014. Yeah, that is kind of down the line, but I don't know if that's the newest one or not. The thing is, is I actually went to the VirtualBox website and found the download page where you can get your virtual machine deb package, you can get your extension pack, your guest pack, and all that stuff. And you can just carry it around with you or whatever distro you go to, as long as it's a Debian-based one. Otherwise, you got to go back and download.
I always use Arch.
Let me get back to comments here real quick.
But you can get that stuff directly from VirtualBox without using a repo. The thing is it doesn't update. You don't get pestered to update it. And that's how I've been able to stay on a 5 series for so long.
Yeah, I just like VM Manager. I think that's what it's called. It's for QEMU. QEMU works so well. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure QEMU is not actually I think it's emulation and not virtualization, right? And you have to have KVM for it to be virtualization.
I don't know. Joe Collins did a video on GNOME boxes last week, I believe.
That's what I use, GNOME boxes, because it's simple, it works very well, and it's not slow like VirtualBox.
But the older VirtualBox in the 5 series, man, it's lightning fast. It still works, even with new distros.
Eventually, though, you're going to have dependency problems where it's going to need an older version of a dependency that your distro doesn't have. That's the problem of running old software on Linux. That's why I think app images are going to be really good for preserving old software, because app images have all the dependencies it needs. Mm-hmm. And in that way, you don't need to, if the distro has an older version or a newer version of an old dependency, it doesn't matter. So I feel like if people want to preserve older versions of Linux software, app images are going to become the major thing. I wish somebody made it. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
I was going to say, I wish that there was a community. When I was making my Firefox Evolution series, I was forced to use Wine because I couldn't get Firefox 4 running on a modern Linux distribution. So I had to run it through Wine.
Interesting. So I'm trying to pull up some weird news to end up on weird news, and the site keeps on redirecting back to probably like an ad system. But what I'm trying to figure out is some people are saying it's some potential type of malware type thing. So I'm testing on multiple different systems, including browsers and things I've never used. And if I go to Huffington Post, I know it's not the beacon of truth, but if you go to huffingtonpost.com, and then try and click on any article. Can you guys land on that, or are you getting a redirect ad? Now, this thing is being blocked by my router settings, but what's interesting to me is that every computer I'm trying it on, let me try it on a virtual machine too. I'm gonna see it.
For me, it's working fine.
Okay. Interesting.
So it might be your network.
Well, I thought that, so I went ahead and tried it out on my phone because my phone is, of course, on the same network, and it's working. But here's the question, though. Is it pinging the thing and collecting your data and then just redirecting? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this something that they are installing on their end to track more data, or is it something that's...
Maybe try inspect elementing it and seeing what it's actually linking to.
Now you're trying to get to where?
I was trying to look up some weird news. And so on Huffington Post has some, but every time I try and click through a link, it tries to redirect through a advertising block first. But the advertising block that I'm getting is actually showing up as considered a it's actually considered a like an advertising spam redirect thing that many people are saying is some type of malware, of course, which is interesting because it's even going across systems that have never really been used. In fact, I'm going to boot up Manjaro here.
You want someone to take a look at it?
Yeah, I just want to see if other people are getting the same thing or not.
I'll put the link in the Hangouts chat.
Well, literally, what I'm doing is it's at HuffingtonPost.com, and then every time I click a link, then it's redirecting to. It's actually getting blocked by my network, by my firewall, but it is stopping at this guce.advertising.com. So I'm going to try a computer that has never been on the internet before through a virtual machine and see what I get there. All right, boot up Firefox.
Okay, I have the Huffington Post open.
Yeah, just click on any article.
It's got Trump. Lets me into an article. Another federal employee gives himself a contract to be in jail.
Yeah. So
but
let's
not
try
Trump.
This on Manjaro. Click through here. Yeah, even through here, it's trying to click through. It's every time you try and click through it, it's going. It's getting blocked out by this thing. So makes me wonder if.
I'm getting everything fine.
Yeah, well, what I'm wondering is it clicking through really quickly and tracking you and my network is just blocking it, or is it some massive system on my whole network, which is certainly a discerning thing, you know?
You think it might be on your network?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I could try that by swapping my routers and seeing if I get the same thing. But again, if it is something in their JavaScript, I did. It doesn't go through. It goes through just
not
fine.
On your phone through USB tethering.
So, like
okay, when I use an article from what's hot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's working fine for me, Tom. I'm getting.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is this. Stop. What I'm wondering is this. If you click through the link on your end, it's hitting that domain URL, tracking your data, and then forwarding you to the link so you don't see it working right. But my network blocks all those ad trackers. So is it my network is getting hung up on the ad tracker? Or
I'm not getting any ads either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, though, this is an ad tracker. It's a proxy. You hit it, it pings the data, and then forwards you to the link you were thinking you were going on. Same way if you click any link through Google, right? Clicking any link
On
through
this
Google.
browser, I have uBlock Origin turned
Okay.
on, and it
Okay.
seems to be
Yeah,
knocking that
uBlock
stuff
Origin
out.
isn't doing it, and uBlock
Okay.
Origin blocks that stuff.
So that will block it. Okay. All right. So it's possibly something that I need to look at what's going on the internal network. That's a possibility.
I'm getting the videos and everything, but I'm not getting a single ad, not even for toothpaste.
Yep. Interesting. So I'll have to look into that. Let me look at.
The uBlock Origin blocked 127 items.
What's your favorite Chrome extension? Mine is uBlock Origin, or mine is Origin uBlock now unblocked ad blocker.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Let's try this. All right.
Nowadays, it is impossible without ad blocker.
Yeah, without blocking stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to DSN block list. Save you. All right, let me try this real quick. Now let's see what happens.
Joe says that uBlock Origin is starting to collect people's data.
No, it's open source, so maybe.
Okay.
Also collecting all your data.
Here is what's interesting. When I turn off my ad blocking firewall, it allows everything through. So what I am wondering is either uBlock Origin is just blocking and passing through and not it's not showing you the statistics because it's not on the page you're actually on. It's a proxy through the page. I think that that's what's going on. So you would actually have to do a little bit more analytics to figure it out. So when I turn off my blocking list, it simply stops the whole process. But I never see that proxy through the middle of it. And that's a little disconcerting. Interesting. Huh. Wow. Okay, let me see.
Oh, the screen for pizza seems to be locked.
My
He's
screen
just
sharing.
frozen on the YouTube.
Yeah, that's on my end. Yeah. That's my thing occasionally. Likes kicking it off. All right, I think we're good.
Joe's
now.
letting us know what's going on out there.
All right. I'm going to re-enable my firewall. So that's actually something, yeah, that's really interesting because it's like my network is actually blocking stuff. Interesting.
Well, you built it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's what I'm saying is that it seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I think what's happening is uBlock may be blocking the data, but you don't see a data being blocked because it's not on the same domain. So it's a proxy domain. Interesting.
Intriguing.
All right. Well, we found a couple of fascinating articles. Let's see if my actual article views will work or not. No, they won't. I'm just gonna read them off because I'm not gonna fight with the OBS again. All right, so let's see. Deputies in Florida man. Oh Lord.
Oh no.
The deputies tell the Florida man, stop calling 911 about your stolen weed.
Oh boy.
Wow.
I don't know what to say about that because that could happen here too.
Wait, is weed legal in Florida?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I mean,
here.
it's in the South, so I'm guessing it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Florida's one of them weird states where they swing either way.
Yeah.
It also has a lot of senior citizens, so they maybe have medical marijuana there.
Yeah. Or none at all because senior citizens, all the old people, they don't want that. Of course, yeah. It's interesting. I was going to tell a story, but nah, let's not do that. All right. Have I tried Oberon Linux? No, I have not. Clearing the cache in Firefox is as simple as clearing the history. Vivaldi, I believe, is built on Chrome. It's the same. Yeah, I was looking to see if the issues were on the system itself, but apparently not. So, all right. So a bear breaks into a family home, and the cub parkours down the staircase. So apparently, this family of bears breaks into this home in California, and the pair is playing down the steps. That's exciting. Yeah. Apparently, I'm very behind on the comments, though, too.
Oh no.
What's that?
Teenage metabolism. I'm always hungry.
Uh-oh. That's right.
I just ate like breakfast like an hour and a half ago.
Already hungry again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone else is
I'm always tired and hungry.
Yeah, so I'm thinking what it is because I think that my router is doing its thing. I think that there's a silent tracking script when you click through Huffington Post that my system will block because it always updates its own blocking lists. All right, so the last one, I have no idea what's going on. Well, Dan's back, good. All right, Iowa family's basement is soaked with 5 inches of animal blood. He can't clean up the mess because it's still seeping into his house. Where's all this animal blood coming from? Is there a pack of sacrifices out back or something? Blood may be thicker than water, but it will still flood the basement. He found out the hard way 2 weeks ago when he discovered 5 inches of blood, fat, and other animal tissues flooding his family basement in Bagley, 45 minutes northwest of Des Moines. He hasn't been able to clean it up because it's still seeping in. Waste is coming from a neighboring meat locker where blood and tissue from slaughtered animals was washed down a drain. Officials say a clog or break in the pipe sent the waste into his basement through a floor drain.
I guess you could call it.
Oh, there's pictures. I guess.
Wow. Please don't put those on stream.
I don't want to see that mess.
All right. I won't put them on stream. You guys can find the article on Huffington Post.
I don't need to barf up my lunch.
No? All right.
I don't need to barf out my breakfast and I'm even more hungry. I guess you could call that house a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a slaughtered house.
That turns that situation into a hazardous waste type situation too.
Yeah, it would. So it says the family.
You can't just mop that stuff up and throw it down the drain.
Yeah, I bet that the meat locker is probably going to be. I have a sneaky suspicion the meat locker is not supposed to be flushing that stuff down the regular drains.
Yep.
So they're probably going to be looking at some stuff. Track you since they use the supercode identifiers. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Oh man, my friend.
You know what?
there-
Come to think of it, yes, this Engadget, I did notice that on Engadget. I have not checked TechCrunch lately. But yes, Engadget also delivers the same thing. So I think what happened is that these sites are putting that tracking script in, and my blocker update, because my blocker updates itself with all known tracking lists. I think that that's what's happened, so that they're actually tracking you behind the scenes. So if I look at Engadget,
Do you think?
I bet I'll get the same thing.
Do you
Yep.
think it's? Do you
Okay.
think it's okay for YouTubers to use bit.ly to see how many people are clicking their links?
So I have one of the challenges that I have with any generic link builders is you never know what the link is going to. But at the same time, so as a user, you never know what the link's going to. At the same time, it would be a decent way to do it. So my link shortener can do that, but it's also, you can question, is that okay or not? Because I have direct access and direct control to that. So overall, yeah, I don't have a problem with using ways to find links and stuff. I have a concern with all of the generic ones because you never know what it is. Okay, so TechCrunch does not get me that tracking script, but Engadget and Huffington Post do.
I'm just curious how many people go to my website from my videos, like directly from my videos. I do have website analytics on. I think I'm using the one that's built in. Jetpack, I think, is what I'm using.
Yeah.
But because I'm too lazy to set up Google Analytics. But I'm just wondering how many people are coming directly from my videos. So I'm thinking about putting shortened links on them.
What you can do is build a link shortener. That way, at least you have more control over it, and people realize, oh, this is your link shortener. So that's what I do. I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? What's your thoughts?
Personally, though, you have like money to buy an extra domain and stuff, and I don't. Since you're actually paying for my domain as a donation. That reminds me, I need to pay for my VPS. It's about to go down because I haven't paid for it.
No. Yeah, I renewed your domain the other day. So.
Yeah, told me already. Thanks.
Yeah, happy birthday. I think it's close to your birthday. Right?
My birthday was exactly a month and 4 days ago.
Yeah, no, that's about when I renewed your domain.
4 days from.
Okay, so Joe
4 days
says
from a month ago.
So Joe says he tried Huffington Post and a Firefox with containers, and it does say it blocks tracking attempts. So that's what's happening. Is my firewall router on my system is working beautifully. Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, I'm experiencing the same kind of blocking.
Yep.
With the browser.
I mean, maybe I could add like a subdomain to my. I could do youtube.pizzavigner.com and then use that for links to see how many people are coming from my YouTube channel.
Yeah, you could do something like that.
Or something like that.
There are some open source analytics trackers too. That you can use. There's like open source of those. There's open source free captures, things like that. I haven't played.
Yeah, I already have analytics. I'm just wondering from my channel specifically. I want to know how many people are mainly because I want to. I think my analytics are being like skewed a little bit because there's a bunch of bots on my website in the comment section, and I think the analytics might be affected by those. So because of that, I don't think they're very accurate too. So having just YouTube would give me a better idea of how popular my website is, because a bot probably wouldn't be coming from my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Just to direct link into it.
Mainly because one day it said that one day I had so many bots on my website. It said that there's 800 views in one day, but then across all my articles, I only gained like 20 views that day.
That's kind of strange.
Yeah, I have a bot problem on my website, and I had to set up an anti-spam.
Yeah, those are becoming annoying. So, learn more from 5 minutes
Isn't
watching
there-
Bill Nye or reading Wikipedia or just watching YouTube than 45 minutes of class 95% of the time. Yeah.
You learn more from watching Bill. I learn more from watching Bill Nye too. One
Yeah.
episode of Bill Nye teaches me more than an entire period of science.
Yeah, with
My
the thing is, though, understand this, though. When the way science classes used to be, that's what we need. We need to go back to how teaching used to be, not drop Bill Nye now and go to class today. That's not right, you know.
Yeah, they need to have it so the science classes work on the basis where you make hydrogen and oxygen from water and a battery and some electrodes and a beaker and all that junk.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of it is all of the teachers are forced to use that curriculum. Because I've been using the same curriculum since I was in 6th grade. It's always the same curriculum, and it's always taught in the same way, even if I have different teachers.
It boils down to pizza is what's cheapest and what they can get away with. If they can use a computer to simulate all this stuff and it costs a third of the cost of actually doing it the right way, then they're going to do it.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
The way they run these schools these days makes me so mad. I might have to borrow your fire.
Okay, I'm back. Has anyone tried out XFCE 4.14?
I don't think I have yet. No, wait. I know I did. I did look at it recently, just a little bit.
Oh, I'm hearing good things about it.
Have you played with Netrunner yet?
No.
I've been using it for like 5 days and I had to stop using it. It's quite glitchy for me. I got it on real hardware.
Yeah, I was planning on using Netrunner, but and I was going to use the rolling edition, but then literally the day that after I decided that I was going to use the rolling edition, and then the day after I made that decision, when I went to try and download it, it got discontinued the day before.
Wow.
So yeah, it got discontinued the day after last week.
Oh, you're talking about the Manjaro one.
The rolling one. 6 days ago, it got discontinued. And I was going to make a video on it, but I'm not going to put a Debian distro on my main system because I need the AUR for a series I have where I try out a bunch of applications. But I need the AUR for that. For the series where I try out a bunch of random applications. Like the first episode was that music player one where I tried out 38 music players. That series I need the AUR for because of that I'm forced to stand Arch distros.
Yeah, they have the Netrunner had the Plasma has an awesome audio setter in their settings. It really is good. But they have audio issues within Netrunner and Debian somewhere because they implied in the default PA for Pulse audio file the required patch to fix some of the audio problems. And it's the same patch that I have to use with my hardware. There's a string that you add TSCHED equals 0. You put that on the end of this string and it actually turns Pulse Audio from it actually engages it as an interrupt-based system rather than a polling system. And I knew that was in there because it causes YouTube videos to stutter. If you don't have the patch there and you have these audio problems, the YouTube audio and the video become out of sync sometimes. But some people have this problem and other people don't have a hitch with it. And it really gets triggered if you open Discord or Mumble. The rest of your audio gets fruited out.
What is Common Core math? It's math to make us lose track of everything that is actually real.
Yeah.
I actually had to take this Common Core stuff to the math department of the college I taught at and said, what is this nonsense? They're like, we don't even know. We just have to teach it. Great. The math professors haven't a clue. This is a problem.
I mean, to be 100% honest, for me, the Common Core curriculum makes perfect sense for me. But for a lot of other kids, they struggle in math.
Yep.
From programming, I learned really well from when I learned the formulas, because that's basically what programming is, just a bunch of formulas. And since I'm already good at programming, to me, I think of algebra as a programming language, and I think of each formula as a function or something.
Yeah.
So for me, it makes perfect sense.
Technically backwards, because technically programming is a form of algebra, but the thing is, you get in there, you know. So anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But a lot of kids don't like formulas. They don't get it.
All right.
Yeah, when it came to formulas,
a few minutes. So.
Okay.
I
need to go eat food because I'm gonna be live streaming on my gaming channel at 1.
All right.
Because a bunch of kids at my school are managing a Bed Wars tournament in Minecraft, and they invited me. But I think most people at my school don't realize I have a gaming channel, and then when they invite me to a tournament or something, they expect it to get a lot of views because they think I'm gonna put it on the channel that has 900 subs, and to them that's like famous. And then I put it on my gaming channel of 50, and then everyone gets irritated at me.
Pizza the Troll.
Well, I feel like people try and use me on YouTube to get more subs, so that's why I always do that stuff on my gaming channel.
Yeah.
People people pay me to give them shout outs. I'm not even kidding.
Well, as long as you let them know, hey, I do shout outs on my gaming channel, which is small, you know.
Oh no, for the paid shout outs, I actually do it on my main channel.
Oh, do you?
Even though I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know.
Well, it depends on it. It depends on if it's someone who's actually my friend or someone who's just trying to use me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. So, interesting. Bunch of weird stuff. So, all right, guys. Thanks for jumping on, and we will catch you guys later.
Okay.
Let me transition there, see where my ending is. All right.